In the red corner, the baddest man on the planet, standing at 5 feet 10 inches tall and with God-given punching power from Brooklyn, New York City, Iron Mike Tyson. And standing in his way that evening was the American Hurricane Peter McNeely, coming in with a near-perfect record with 37 fights, 36 wins, and with 21 first-round knockouts. The world would tune in for a fight for the ages. As Tyson was looking to shake off the prison shackles and look to step in the ring for the first time in 4 long years, Peter McNeely would be racking up wins and boasting a knockout record that fans would raise an eyebrow at. The Hurricane, who was conveniently promoted by the sneakiest spinster in the boxing game, the notorious Don King, the same promoter that was rubbing his hands every day closer to Tyson's release. Welcome back to Below the Belt Boxing, where today we're covering a story of 90s heavyweight boxing gold. But before we start, you'll be needing a bit of context to the fight's build-up and why it was the most successful non-title fight in boxing history. Let's take it back to 1991, where Tyson had twice defeated the number 2 ranked heavyweight Razor Ruddock. It was big ticket fight like these that catapulted Tyson to not just the most feared heavyweight of the early 90s, but the most brutal. After his second victory over Ruddock, a mega deal was made that would see Tyson face the undisputed heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield at the end of 1991. Before this match could take place, however, Tyson was arrested for a crime so hideous we can't actually say the phrase on YouTube, as I'm sure some of you will already know. The crime was against the then 18-year-old Desiree Washington. He was subsequently convicted in 1992 and then sentenced to 6 years in prison. After serving 3 years, Tyson was paroled on early 1995, and on the same week as his release, he would hold a short press conference that would announce his return to boxing and that the Cheshire grinning Don King would remain not just his promoter but also his mentor throughout the comeback. After much debate over who would be Tyson's first opponent in his comeback, including talks about a potential fight with comeback of the decade, George Foreman, it was announced that Tyson would face little-known and fellow American Hurricane McNeely in August 1995, giving Tyson almost half a year to get back fighting fit. Tyson's life has been a roller coaster of triumphs and tribulations. However, it was his first fight after being released from jail that marked a pivotal moment in his career and served as a testament to his resilience, determination, and that God-given power of redemption. March 1995, the boxing world held its breath as Mike Tyson stepped back into the ring for the first time in over 4 years. His opponent that night was big Peter McNeely, a relatively unknown fighter with a great record on paper. But what went in Hurricane's favour was an unwavering belief to shock the world. For Tyson, this fight wasn't just about reclaiming his title as the baddest man on the planet. It was about proving to himself and the world that he still had what it took to compete at the highest level after serving time in prison. The anticipation leading up to them made it a household event. Here in London, all pubs and bars stayed open double late to screen the fight. Over in the USA, the fight in some states was the most expensive pay-per-view the world had ever seen. Tyson's return had generated a frenzy of media attention, with fans and pundits alike speculating about whether he could recapture the magic that had made his a name that was now bigger than boxing itself. For many, Tyson's time behind bars had cast a shadow of doubt over his abilities, raising questions about whether he could ever regain his former glory. The final press conference was as legendary as the fight itself. McNeely brought an impressive-looking record into his fight with Tyson. Despite his only loss being on a cut, the record still flattered to deceive. McNeely said all the right things. "I'm going to wrap you in a cocoon of horror," he famously said at a post-fight press conference.
"I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass. But if you haven't..."
But McNeely would need more than a few carefully scripted one-liners. He could sell the fight, but could he actually fight? As the lights dimmed and the crowd roared with anticipation, with a star-studded audience including Pamela Anderson, Jim Carrey, and a certain future president of the United States. The main event of the evening was accompanied by a fantastic undercard, with Bruce Seldon defending his heavyweight championship and the knockout expert Julian Jackson taking a shock defeat to Quincy Taylor for the WBC middleweight title. After a long night of boxing, Tyson made his entrance to the ring with an air of determination and focus. Gone was the brash and cocky persona of his youth. In its place was a man on a mission to prove himself once again. Across the ring, McNeely exuded confidence, eager to seize the opportunity to make a name for himself at the expense of the former champion. Peter would bounce to the ring wearing green, a nod to his Irish roots, surrounded by family. Was the Hurricane caught up in his own commotion? Or could he go on to score the upset of the year and throw hands with the youngest heavyweight champion of all time? Tyson would surround himself not with family but with bodyguards, rap artists, and stood off to one side would be the man to make it happen, Donald King.
So he's been working a great deal on his feet the past few months, and here we go! And McNeely has
From the opening bell, it was clear that Tyson meant business. He wasted no time in asserting his dominance, unleashing a barrage of punches with the speed and ferocity that had made him a force to be reckoned with in his prime. McNeely, to his credit, attempted to weather the storm and mount a counterattack, but he was no match for Tyson's superior skill and raw power. In a fight that was scheduled for 10 rounds, it was over in less than 2 minutes. Tyson had dismantled McNeely with clinical precision, forcing his corner to throw in the towel and signalling his triumphant return to the sport he loved. As the crowd erupted into cheers and Tyson's arm was raised in victory, it was clear that redemption had been achieved, not just in victory, but in the sheer act of stepping back into the ring and facing his demons head on. Tyson's first fight after being released from jail was more than just a sporting event. It was an overwhelming financial success, grossing $96 million worldwide, including a then record of $63 million in pay-per-view buys, with the fight being purchased by 1.5 million American homes. It showed that no matter how far one falls, redemption is always within reach for those willing to fight for it. For Tyson, it was the beginning of a journey of self-discovery and redemption that would redefine his legacy and inspire countless others to never give up, no matter the odds. We leave you with two questions. Firstly, was Peter McNeely's record padded for the sole purpose of the release of Tyson, backed by Don King and his money-grabbing ways? Secondly, are you an old-school boxing fan? If so, give the subscribe button a stiff jab, and until next time, fight fans, take care.